Sports Talk 1080, the team's Tuck and O'Neill. He's Mike Tuck, I'm Jerry O'Neill. We obviously got the memo right. We're blue. We are here to talk a little bit. Man, we've got college football, pro football, not that long down the road, Mike. But we thought we'd take some time here. When we're recording this, we're still in the All-Star break of the Major League Baseball season. That means we played about 60% of the baseball season. We thought we'd take a look at least some of the observations. We see what's taken place to this point and looking forward what we think we'll see the rest of the way.
I think we have a lot of contenders in baseball and a lot of teams that think they can make the playoffs still.
All right, let's talk about particular divisions. The American League East is the only one at the All-Star break who had 4 teams playing baseball above 500. Some have been surprise stories. The Yankees are an interesting story with the A-Rod and Jeter and all the injuries they've had to deal with, either during the course of the year, guys coming back, guys getting hurt during the year. It's been a topsy-turvy year for the Yanks.
It definitely has. A-Rod, Jeter, Granderson all should be back here shortly, but obviously they've lost Mark Teixeira for the season. They'll have to go on without him. I don't see them as a playoff team this year. I just think the AL East is just way too stacked. Toronto, they'll make some noise. They're going to be troublesome for everyone that they play, but I don't see them as a playoff team. And to me, the 3 other teams are the ones that legitimately have a shot to make it. All 3 of them could make it. It's not going to be easy, though. Boston strikes me as the most surprising, being where they're at right now. I think Tampa Bay and Baltimore are going to be there all year long. I had them in the playoffs before it started. I didn't expect Boston to be in the position they're at right now in first place.
The other 2 divisions, the Central and West, I don't think they have the fan bases necessarily here across Central Florida with respect to those in our audience who may be fans of.
You're from the Midwest. What are you talking about? There are plenty of Midwesterners here.
I just don't think that Detroit and Cleveland have a lot of baseball fans in Orlando. I haven't gone door to door. Okay, I just don't get a feel for it, though. And especially Cleveland, they're a bit of a surprise. You know, they've even flip-flopped with Detroit for first place, which I think has surprised a lot of people. I still think Detroit is the better team top to bottom. They've got the better bats, the better pitching, and I think they're the better team, and I don't think a second team from the Central will be a playoff team this year.
Your project this weekend is to go door to door and talk to all the Midwesterners you can.
I'm going to start with your door at about 3 in the morning.
We're not from the Midwest. That's not going to count.
I'll find that out when I get there.
Detroit is the Vegas favorite to win the World Series right now. So they expect the Tigers not just to be there, but to win the entire thing. I think Cleveland's going to stick around, probably only challenging in the Central, not necessarily challenging for the wild card spot. I think Kansas City has a chance to finish at 500, which would be a great year for them. And I think Minnesota and Chicago, the Twins have gotten used to it. They don't want to be used to it, but they've gotten used to it after a long stretch of greatness. And the White Sox are one of the biggest disappointments this year.
A year ago, we saw Texas, Oakland, 2 teams in the playoffs. Oakland ran them down very late. Texas faded very late and then played in that 1-game wild card and lost it. A huge disappointment after playing in the World Series the 2 years previous and coming within, an out of winning a World Series, the one that St. Louis won two years ago. You like to think both those teams are going to be there, which makes for a crowded field because not all these top teams that we've talked about, including the handful in the East, can all get to the playoffs.
Right. Counting the 3 in the East, the 2 in the West, it's 5 teams for 4 spots is how I see it. I don't think anyone else is going to get into the playoffs. The Angels, kind of like the Blue Jays, might hang around for a while, but I don't see them as a team that's going to actually threaten. I think those 5 teams and the Tigers have clearly established themselves as the best 6 in the American League. Problem is, only 5 get in. So one of them isn't going to make it this year, and the other 5 are going to have a great shot to get to a World Series and maybe win it this year with the home field advantage.
We always talk about how, the uneven scheduling, meaning that you're playing your division rivals, I think it's 18 times a year, go a long way to determine who's going to win some of these divisions. In the National League East, the story at the break is that Atlanta had the biggest lead of any division leader, 6 games over Washington. Philadelphia's played its best baseball, winning series against both Washington and Atlanta in the days in advance of the break. But Atlanta has dominated the division, winning 7 of 10 from Washington. Washington's been an interesting story. Played about 500 ball all year long. Atlanta's been up and down like a yo-yo. And Philadelphia, much the same as Washington, just playing about mid-level ball, a little bit better than that, but they're still below 500 at the break.
Yeah, and the way the Central's playing, I'd be very concerned if I was Washington about making the playoffs. It might be catching Atlanta or not making it at all, the way the three teams in the Central are playing right now. So do I think they have a shot? Yeah, I think they have a shot. There was a reason that a lot of people liked them in the preseason, but they'll have to run down the Braves and play probably, you're talking about better than 600 baseball the second half of the season to even have a shot at making the playoffs this year.
Record-wise, the Central has the three teams that have played above 500, and they're legit. St. Louis, no surprise. Pittsburgh, surprise? I don't know. Based on what we saw the last couple of years, they're stronger as a 25-man roster, and with Andrew McCutchen kind of leading the way offensively, and the Alvarez kid who's turning into a star power over the last couple of years. Cincinnati's got a great lineup as well. It's going to be interesting to see how that race develops and how many of those teams get into the postseason.
Yeah, I mean, right now I feel like the Reds and the Cardinals are the two best bets to win the National League pennant this year. I look at them, they're the most complete ball clubs. Cincinnati needs to get healthy. They may even need to make another move, add another outfielder. Billy Hamilton's down in the minors, Mr. 200 stolen bases a year. You wonder if he comes up, what kind of impact he can have on them, even as a pinch runner in situations. St. Louis, you said, just such a complete team. I think Pittsburgh's going to be there till the end, though, as a playoff team, but they're a team that needs to solidify that right field spot. It's been an issue for them all year long, and I think if they can make a trade, maybe for a right fielder, maybe for a starting pitcher, they'll have a shot to win the National League this year.
And then the National League West has a story similar to what we saw in the Kentucky Derby with the 3-year-olds. Orb, remember Orb ran down the field from deep in the pack?
No, I don't.
Well,
I'll
trust
take your word for it.
It takes 2 minutes to go look at the video, so you can check that out. But what I'm saying is that's the LA Dodgers. The LA Dodgers have played from behind, and here they come. And it's been a most interesting story. You're the Dodger fan, but I mean, injury problems.
Dodger blue on.
Yasiel Puig starting in what was it, June that he came to the parent club has been an incredible story. Zach Greinke went down with the injury in a fight on the field. Hanley Ramirez playing like what Dodger fans would have hoped when he came over to join them. It's going to be interesting to see how well they play in the second half. I see them winning the National League West.
Well, it's a good thing the Dodgers aren't horses because they would have been put down and turned into glue by now with all the injuries they've had. Sorry for being so graphic, but that would have been the case. Arizona, I think, is got a very good baseball team. They have to pitch better, though. They have to find a way to pitch better. I don't want to give up on San Francisco because they're the World Series champs. They've won 2 out of 3. You know they have the heart, but I don't see whoever wins it, unless they make a big splash to make an addition to their rosters. I don't see anyone out of the West threatening to get to the World Series this year.
Through the postseason, we'll talk some baseball time to time. There's no question about that. We're Tuck and O'Neill, Mike Tuck, Jerry O'Neill, weekday afternoons 3 to 7 on Sports Talk 1080 The Team Orlando.